So I thought it might be a good idea to make a video installing these dimmers on our bedroom ceiling lights. I've already kind of started the process by removing the lights and the switch. I had to do that in order to access the ground wire. Let me show you that. So I'm not exactly sure where the ground wire feeds in from, but it's not available at either one of the switch locations. Here's where the light is, and you'll see there is a negative wire there, so it's coming in the middle someplace. But that's okay. It's not that hard to snake another wire across because the dimmer needs to have both the ground and the positive and the switched line. So that's what we'll do next. So as you may know, the wire color coding in trailers can be just about anything. In this case, for the hot side, it's a red wire. For the ground side, it's a white wire. And then the switched line, they use a blue wire. And so what I'm going to do is extend the white ground wires to reach each of the switch locations. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just use a stiff piece of wire to fish through this opening here so that I can bring in another white wire. There it is. And then I'll just use some 18 gauge wire here and pull that through. Let me get some tape. Okay. That's pulling through. That should be enough. And let's cut you off. And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so now I got the white wires, the ground wires, fished through on both sides. I'm going to remove the switch, and then I made up a template so that I can cut. I'm going to have to cut the hole a bit because the old switch fits in a round hole, and we're going to need a rectangular hole. So let me do that next. Okay, so I have attached the template, and I'm going to mark that opening and then use my orbital cutter to open up that hole a little bit. Okay, so we trimmed the opening so that our box will now fit. We might have to make a little bit of room for the wires, but there we go, like so. Now let's hook up the wires. So I'm going to use these WAGO connectors. If you haven't ever used these, I highly recommend them. They're great. They have little levers, so you just stick the wires in there, flip the lever down, and they grip your wires really good. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, so let's connect up our ground wire that we fished across here. This is the incoming ground. Let me just strip this guy down. And you'll see how cool these WAGO connectors are. So we just flip open the little levers here, and then we stick our wires in. One. Oh, that one closed. There we go. 2. And 3, just like that. So now we have our ground jumpered over here, and now we can hook up our switch. I had taped those so that the wires wouldn't disappear up in the hole. This guy is probably a little bit longer than he needs to be, so let's shorten him up. Find my strippers and my cutters. Let's cut you about there. Okay, so now our switch, we're going to need red. It says on the back here how to hook this up. So red is 12 volts, black is ground on the switch, not white. It's going to go, this black's going to go to the white because that's our ground, and then the blue is going to go to switch the outlet, which is the white. So that's how we're going to have to do this. So I stripped these wires. I cut off the spade lugs because I don't need them. And this side's ready. And so now remember, we got our wiring connections here. So black on the switch is our ground. So that's going to go to the white wire. So let's do him first. Put one on here. And the white goes in here. All right, that one's done. Now, red here is our hot, and he's going to go to the red, which is the hot side, 12 volts of the trailer. So let's do you next. Done. And white is our switched power out. So let's do you next. And you can see the switch is on because the light came on. On, off, on, dim. Looky there. So now we just have to shove all these wires up in the holes and button it up. Okay, so it is all buttoned up. I just have to put on the cover plate. Give you a little close up here. So I was only able to do 3 screws because the fourth screw hole wound up going over the big cutout from the other switch. But as you can see, it works. On and dim and off. So there you go. Now I have to do the other side. Okay, so we got it all buttoned up. About the only thing left to do now is to just clean up. You can see the screw hole from the old switch isn't quite covered by the plate of the new switch, so we'll put a little bit of caulk in there and call it good. Hope you found this video useful, and that's all for now.